I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. If you would like to get more information on how you can get a reading or a channeling or a chart, you can visit my website at www.readingsbyrosemary.com. Welcome to our video on astrological gardening, New Moon in Scorpio horoscope with astrology, planetary archangels, and zodiac angels to magically help your urban or suburban garden and or agricultural project accomplish success so you can feed your family while creating a healthy community environment. As we continue to enter into the grand solar minimum, it becomes more and more important to be able to harvest our food from God's own plentiful earth. Using astrology to increase yield from crops is essential. A new moon in Scorpio the Scorpion gives opportunities for fresh starts in major life milestones through resetting of policies, methodologies, and practices, allowing for successes once thought impossible. Scorpio new moon grants a cornucopia of new opportunities in areas of birth, sex, death, and debt, which has applications for growing, exchange, harvest, and yield ratios when viewed in regards to finance, economics, agriculture, and breeding animals. Such principles can be practical regarding businesses and relationships with farmers markets or community gardening or farming projects. Edible produce, spices, and herbs are for the purpose of provisions of these crops for immediate or extended family. Keep in mind global economics, both domestically and commercially, when it comes to these vital interests, while natural 8th house attributes are visited during a new moon phase in Scorpio the Scorpion. Gardeners, both urban and suburban, or farmers, often find enthusiasm from focusing upon their various crops, particularly since growing produce requires a lot of attention to major weather events. Mindful planning and determination, as well as foreknowledge about earth changes when it comes to these activities. Preparedness and awareness of nature's larger cycles within planetary, lunar, and solar positions in the heavens, astrological houses, and seasonal considerations are all essential factors regarding the care of any chosen crops. Looking forward to successful outcomes. Knowledge about not just how, but what crops to plant, grow, harvest, and store for the benefit of self and others in one's community is necessary. Good decisions yield prosperous crops when under the care and watchful eye of the astrological gardener or farmer. This is an occasion to interact with elementals, especially the undines of water, because Scorpio the Scorpion is a fixed water sign communicating with the salamanders of fire, sylphs of air, and gnomes of earth, coming into effect together with an abundant amount of resolve, all working together towards bestowing a rich yield. Communicating with the moon during this new moon lunar phase while making sure to use skills learned in regards to astrological planting and harvesting is of vital import. Bring a plethora of wealth and resources into your family and community by sowing and reaping seeds, which will produce a cornucopia of crops for food, which can be shared by family circles and neighborhoods alike, as well as yields that are also able to be sold at local farmers markets. These concepts are especially important during a grand solar minimum, such as the one in which we now find ourselves. Generally, a new moon with its increasing moonlight is great for planting produce such as cruciferous vegetables, asparagus, lettuce, spinach, and those annuals which leaves where the growing of these leaves are above ground and the seeds are outside of the crop. Cucumbers are an exception to this rule since they have seeds inside the produce. Now, specifically, when Luna visits the zodiac sign of Scorpio the Scorpion, it is a magnificent occasion for cultivating many vineyard varietals and increasing robustness of their pulp. Vine produce varietals include such crops as grapes, tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, melons, and kiwi, which are brilliant, healthful selections for growing spurts during an occasion of Scorpio's new moon. Remember that Scorpio is a feminine sign, being yin in nature, a water sign, moist and dark, bestowing female qualities of nurturing. Scorpio has a designation of the scorpion due to its placement on the astrological and agricultural seasonal wheel, where it is considered very fertile. Since Scorpio is akin to the natural 8th house of birth, sex, death, and debt, this is a good occasion to establish healthy and hardy leaves, stems, and pulp, bringing much integrity to foodstuffs chosen for cultivation through abundant watering. First, our disclaimer. Watching this video or reading this document is an act of spiritual willpower, and any such action is considered magic. High magic should be used with all mindfulness, since powerful forces of manifestation are unleashed. This is intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. I'm a Rosicrucian seer, biblical astrologer, Christian psychic, Gnostic mystic, and this is a Readings by Rosemary angelic transmission. Normally, during a new moon lunar cycle in general, urban and suburban gardeners will prevail, gaining a green thumbs up by planting parsley, celery, broccoli, cabbage, oats, quinoa, millet, wheat, flaxseed, rye, spinach, endive, lettuce, corn, and rice, to name just a few familiar edibles, utilizing annuals which flourish above ground. Now, crops with seeds developed on the outside are best at this portion of Luna's phases. A new moon is the beginning of a waxing moon from new moon to full moon portion of a lunar cycle. Water in the earth will be pulled up by Luna just like her sway over ocean tides. Although 24 to 48 hours before a full moon is a phase which provides an even larger gravitational effect, a new moon makes abundant water available for growth. Specifically, during a new moon in the sign of Scorpio the Scorpion, focus upon planting foodstuffs such as corn that add hearty nourishment to meals. Sprigs are also gathered during this particular phase of Luna's cycle. Sowing feed crops for animals such as horses, sheep, cattle, rabbits, or deer are also recommended during a Scorpio new moon phase. An urban or suburban gardener ought to wait until a second quarter waxing moon phase in Scorpio to plant or relocate eggplant, tomato, or potato crops. Nightshade family produce are favorable for sowing when Scorpio's moon waxes more brightly. Since a new moon in Scorpio, the Scorpion is a feminine sign of the Zodiac sign of air, of water, or fixed water, keep in mind that this watery aspect, as well as feminine yin dark qualities of diplomatic fruitfulness, give rise to fertility. Please note that 24 to 48 hours before a full moon in the sign of Scorpio the Scorpion is also a great happening for the purpose of planting or transplantation of the above-mentioned vine and nightshade crops while the moonlight is still waxing and increasing in brightness. You will also have to wait for a full moon in Scorpio to select a few of these varietals for adding into your daily meals, which is also a favorable moon phase in which to add water, clip back, or even graft on. Now wait for a mature third quarter or fourth quarter waning moon phase in Scorpio to harvest or cut back edible crops. Trim or mow plants used for landscaping during a waning moon in Scorpio, plus getting rid of rats or bugs. Now this is also a great lunar cycle for preparation of edible roots used for winter storage, such as carrots, potatoes, beets, turnips, daikon, radishes, or celery. Planetary Archangel Gabriel rules over Luna, although on a new moon expressing receptivity. Scorpio is martial and Plutonian in nature, and therefore influences of planetary seraphim Samael and planetary Archangel Azrael hold sway during a new moon in Scorpio. Since Mars is the first ruler over this fixed water sign, and the zodiac of Scorpio the Scorpion being the nighttime abode of the red planet, keep in mind that Scorpio is air of water, and therefore it is important to invoke, or call upon the martial zodiacal facet known as the attribute of God the warrior, found in Exodus 15, that's chapter 15, verse 3, in the Dewey Rheims Bible. The Lord is a man of war, almighty is his name. Pluto is the second ruler over Scorpio's fixed water nature, with planetary archangel Azrael being assigned to this Kuiper Belt planet in Kabbalah, with Azrael being angel of transformation and death, known as the angel who is the one whom God helps. Pluto is known as the attribute of God the Rich Father, found in Luke chapter 12, verse 24, the Douay-Rheims Bible. Consider the ravens, for they sow not, neither do they reap, neither have they storehouse nor barn, and God feedeth them. How much are you more valuable than they? Zodiac angel Bartshell rules over Scorpio, the Scorpion astrology sign. Speaking of the new moon, we turn to Psalm chapter 81, verse 3, in the New Heart English Bible. Blow the trumpet at the new moon, at the full moon, on our feast day. Information found in this document is based on the oral tradition known as Kabbalah, taught to me by Rosicrucian clergy when I was but a young girl, the facts of which I have committed to memory. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. A disclaimer is in order here. Remember, high magic can be dangerous. This is intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. We'll see you next time.